Happy holidays. Alright, so this is the final product. Catfish, fried catfish and shrimp. Alright, let's fry some shrimp and catfish. Let's get into this. So the way, as you see, I've already done a lot of the shrimp already. They are large, considered large, but y'all know when y'all get them frozen shrimp, these things ain't large to me. They kind of, I would say medium size. So I have it, I take it out the shell, right? Find you one with the shell on it. So I take it out the shell, right? And then you have this. And so I just, because they already been deveined, I'm just going to literally split them down the center, so kind of butterfly them. That's all you're doing. And so I got them laid out like that way I know they all been split, right? They're not in a pile. You can do the pile method, but these I know for a fact are split. It's just probably my OCD kicking in. It's all good, ain't it? Alright, I'm just gonna keep going. And then when we're through, we're going to make our marinade. So the marinade for the catfish is simply mustard. Literally. That's it. Just mustard. If you want to make it spicy, then you can add some hot sauce. Some of the Cajun, Beaux Cajun hot sauce. Add a little, few drops of that. And we're going to make our marinade for the shrimp. You're going to want to rinse them. Alright, once you rinse them, you want to get as much water off as possible. So I just take a little, couple pieces of paper towel. And I don't use cheap paper towels. I'm going to say that because I don't want residual paper towel left on my shrimp. That's what happens when you use them cheap paper towels. Y'all know what cheap paper towels are, alright? These are, alright, and once I get a lot of that water out of there, then I put my marinade. And yes, the marinade is wet, but you don't want it to be watery, right? If that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. Alright, so that's how I get the excess water off. Alright, our marinade for our shrimp will be some mustard, of course. You don't need a whole lot, just a little bit. Coat them in. So we're going to have our mustard. And then we're going to use some of the Cajun hot sauce. And you put as much as you want, however you want. I'm doing it until they say stop. Alright, that's enough. I need to put a little bit more mustard. There we go. Alright, let's get that mixed together really good. So this is going to be our marinade. I'm going to cover these and let them chillax. Now I'm going to let mine chillax overnight, because I'm not going to cook these until the next day. But you can do these, marinate them at least like a couple of hours before you go in to fry them. And then you're going to need 1 egg. So I'm not going to put the egg on there until I'm ready to actually fry them. So now they are nice and tossed around. I'm just going to cover them with some plastic. And then let them chill out in the refrigerator overnight. Now for my flour mixture, I'm going to show you the flour mixture. Give me 1 second. Because you know by the time you rip that doggone shrink wrap off, it done started dating by the time. And I have a big old thing of shrink wrap. This is not like the little thing that you buy. I have industrial size. So there we go. Alright, and I'm going to set that in the fridge. Alright, this is just plain old all-purpose flour in here. That's all that is, all-purpose flour. Okay. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to season it now. I'm not going to use it until tomorrow. I'm going to add some cornstarch. Just a couple of tablespoons of cornstarch. That way my shrimp are nice and crispy. And I'm going to season it just like this. Just like that. I'm going to put some garlic powder. You gotta have some garlic powder in there. Ain't nothing like seasoning your food, baby. Yeah, that's about a tablespoon of garlic powder. And then I'm just gonna mix it around and I'm going to let it sit, and then we'll be back. We'll be back. Alright, the catfish has marinated overnight in just mustard. Okay, so I'm going to keep reiterating it in case you think it's something other than mustard. It is not. It is just mustard. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is slice them up. So this is 6 catfish fillets. I want you to see how you can split this fish up like Jesus did when he fed all the people. You know what I'm talking about? So we're going to take all of these. We're going to lay them out. Right? Lay them out here on our cutting board. Make sure you can see good. Alright. Put that there. And I'm going to slice them. This will give you can get at least 4 strips out of each fillet. Okay? So people, when the thing about our brains, when we see like we got a lot, we get full faster, right? So just a trick of the eye. That's how you doing. And you stretching the catfish, you saving yourself money, and you feeding the whole family, right? So there you go. And 6 times 4 is what? 20 freaking 4. So you end up with 24 strips of catfish. You got a family of 4 or whatever. Whatever you're, you know. If you got a larger family, then you just marinate more catfish. Alright, now we got our catfish. Let me pour that out. Alright, once I have cut up my catfish, I use this. I don't add anything to it. It's already pre-seasoned. You don't have to do any of that. Now, if you would like to create your own fish fry, you use some meal and flour. So I would say 1 cup of meal, 1.5 cups of meal, and 1 cup of flour. And I will blend them together. That way the cornmeal is nice and smooth. And then I will add some seasoning. You can use Creole seasoning, you can use Beaux seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, you do you. Alright, so we're going to put the fish into the fish fry, and we're going to kind of let it chill in there while the oil heats up, and then we're going to drop them into the grease. Alright, so this is how I just let the fish sit in here and in the fish fry. That way if it sticks to it, the fish fry sticks to the fish really well. And then once the oil heats up, then I'm going to drop it in the oil. Alright, we are back. It's time to fry this fish, so I'm going to crank up the heat just a little bit. I don't want it to fry too fast, so got it going just like that. And I usually just drop one by one. And I don't want to overcrowd it. Just like that, let that fry, and then once they are floating, I'll take them out. Alright, so you can see what I'm talking about. Once the fish is floating, then it is ready to come out. Let this fry like 1 more minute, and then I'm gonna pull it out, and then I'll show you guys how to fry the shrimp. So you're gonna need 1 egg, so you can go ahead and pull that out so it can get to room temperature. And I'm going to finish this fish. Hold on. I drain mine on paper towels, but if you have a wire rack, you could do that as well. This is just something that I'm used to doing, so. You do you, boo-boo. You do you. Alright, you see how pretty that is? And it is so freaking delicious. Alright, so let me keep going. And I'll be right back when it's time to do the shrimp. Alright, so we have a pan of codfish. Let's get in on these shrimp. So in order to do the shrimp, we've already marinated them. So now we're going to crack an egg into them and get it mixed around, and then we're going to put it into our flour cornstarch mixture. There's 1 egg just like that. Yeah, glove. So we got the shrimp just like that with the egg, and just mix it around, and then we dip them into our flour cornstarch mixture. I'm not gonna add too many at a time, so I don't want to overcrowd it. Just like that, shake it around, and then we're going to add them to our grease. Hot oil, like this. You want to make sure that they are nice and covered, and then you just drop them. You don't want to fry them too long, so like three minutes tops is how long you want to fry them. It keeps them juicy and real tasty. And a nice little stir around. And when you hit them with your spatula, you can tell if they crispy or not. But usually when they're floating, they are ready to come out. Like that. But I'm going to let it fry just a little bit more, so I can make sure that they're crispy. Alright, time for these to come out. I'll do the same, just strain them onto paper towel. Happy holidays. All right, so this is the final product. Catfish, fried catfish and shrimp.